one thing is still the same year after year. It's about the individual behind the microphone being able to communicate with the people who are listening online, on their phone, in their car, on their radio.
So we asked the question of a major European broadcaster of what would the talent in the studio really like the future of their technology, the future of their studios to look like. And the answer that came back was not what we or the broadcaster was expecting, but there were two clear things they wanted. One was cushions and the other was daylight. Hi, my name is Dan McQuillan from Broadcast Bionics, and today we want to talk about the Bionic Studio. That's the future of radio production, fitting it to reach and retain an audience of distracted listeners, and also helping you to measure and monetize all of those different platforms that radio now needs to reach. So a Bionic Studio means a studio which is listening and watching and reacting to what's happened. So rather than the technology merely being passive, it's part of the production. I mean, if you think about it, you wouldn't hire a producer and then sit them down the hall and have them not listen to the program. They couldn't be much help, but that's basically how the technology has been. It's been passively inert in the studio. But now through intelligent and fast transcription, the studio can react. It can understand what you're saying and automatically detect topics or segment your program. Using face detection, we can recognize who's speaking on cameras to help to generate the metadata that lets us drive more intelligent programming. So a Bionic Studio looks and works in terms of your operation exactly the same as a passive one, but the tools that you're using are able to react in context. You play a particular song, we can react to that song by pulling more information and control into the studio. It's about capturing the very best moments of radio, those intimate moments when the voice breaks and you know a caller's going to cry, when you have something that just has that driveway moment when you can't exit the vehicle because there's that compelling moment. And now I want to make that content shareable and searchable so it reaches a whole new generation of listeners and is discovered in just fantastic and exciting new ways.
My experience in a control room is pretty simple. The less I think about the technology, the better off I am, and the better my show is, and the better my performance is.
To lead in our world, it's all about innovation. It's what's that new, next big idea. Anytime we get to take our content and spread it, that helps us create word of mouth, or as it is now, online digital postings and social, that gives us the greatest promotional tool ever. And that's something we're all trying to embrace.
Essentially, radio is a document. It's just a spoken document, but we've considered it all along to be audio. So by transcribing it, that audio becomes searchable and discoverable, not just to audiences, but to us within the radio station. So we can search for, someone said banana yesterday, that's fine. They said it at 17 minutes past 10 in the morning and exactly this many milliseconds. So it's not just accurate transcription, it's time accurate. So now imagine you can edit your entire show just by clicking on the words or the script within the show. That's actually all you're really doing using a waveform editor. It's just that you're having to map between squiggly lines and what was really essentially a spoken performance or the words that happened. So it makes radio searchable, which is fantastic. It makes it fit for sort of closed captioning, which is the way that now people often read Facebook audio before they actually click and hear it. And importantly, it makes it time accurate so that you can do your job just by clicking on the words that you said, whether that's searching for them or using that as an in and out cue to edit. I think we can create an even more intimate environment for radio. We don't want to get rid of all the technology, but we need to smarten it to a point where it becomes less of a distraction. And I think the whole cushions and daylight idea was, can we actually make this a more comfortable and natural an environment? Not just for the talent and presenters, because we're kind of used to this stuff, but I think when we're interviewing people and we're inviting guests into our space, if we were sitting surrounded by cushions and daylight, I think what we would get out of our guests and the way we appear to our audiences would be transformed. There's nothing wrong with the way we make radio. We want to help you to make it smarter and better and fit for all the devices that we now have to hit. So thanks for giving us your time. We're trying to start what we call the creative conspiracy. That's engineers working with talent in the studio to take technology and help really to improve content and have it do exciting things. So if you want to join the conspiracy, you can see what we're up to. Our website is bionic.radio, or hopefully we'll be in touch to find out how we might be able to help you to build a Bionic studio for the future. Thanks for listening.